Hey, Antoine, you're certainly a student of the game and have a good resource at home. But what have you learned or been told about playoff football versus regular season?
Yeah, I heard everything is elevated. It's faster paced. Everybody's like mentality has changed. You know, everybody it's do or die, win or go home. And so those are a few things that I've heard going into my first playoff game.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go over to Leo Haggerty. For any media with questions, please raise your hand.
Antoine, you come in as a rookie and go right to the playoffs. There's guys on this football team that are waiting 8, 9, 10 years. Do you consider yourself lucky? Do you consider yourself, hey, don't look at this opportunity as something that may happen year in and year out? How are you looking at this?
Yeah, I mean it's a blessing, especially hearing from guys like Vontae, who's been on the team for 9 years, and this is his first playoffs. So, I'm definitely not taking anything for granted because it's hard to get here. Everybody's good in the NFL, and so I'm just blessed that I have the opportunity to be in the playoffs my first year.
I will go over to Joey Knight.
Hey, Antoine, your fellow rookie Tristan, how amazed are you just by what he's done? Not only just playing every snap on offense, but playing at such a high level. I mean, people really think he should have been in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, Tristan's a great player. We were both coming in. We both came in together, obviously, and just the way he just works. He's already like a vet. So he's a great player, and I definitely thought he should have been in the Pro Bowl as well. And just seeing his stats and what he's been doing is just amazing.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go over to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Antoine, just wondering what kind of conversations you've had with your dad leading up to the game this week and kind of what's been the advice that he's given you or the biggest piece of advice that he's given you about playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, we're still doing our daily routine, still watching film together and everything like that throughout the weeks. And so pretty much he's like, hey, it's the same game, still football. It's just elevated because, it's win or go home. So I guess that was like the biggest advice he said, like you got to leave it all out there because you never know. Like Coach BA said today, like we don't need to make this our last practice because this could be our last practice, but we just got to make sure we go out there and take care of business.
Does he have any special memories of specific games that he has shared with you about, like you said, playing in some of these bigger games, you got to leave it all out on the field. Does he have any stories that he's shared with you about those games?
Stories. Well, actually, last night I just asked him because people kept asking me how many times my dad been to the playoffs, and I think he said he went to the playoffs 5 times out of his 14-year career, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, that's not even a lot. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's tough to get in the playoffs, but hearing that, it's I don't take it for granted at all. And I would say his biggest memory or one that we talked about was when he went to the NFC Championship against New Orleans. And they lost the game. And he was just talking about like the atmosphere and everything.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
Go to Greg Allman.
Hey, Antoine, they are dealing with some injuries on their offense, but I wanted to ask you of their offensive skill players, who impresses you the most? What stands out to you?
Impressed me the most, I would say number 17. He's a good player. He's fast. He has great hands, great routes. Also, they got some backs that are pretty good. They're nice in space, break a lot of tackles. And so I feel like those guys are going to be a challenge.
Thanks, Antoine.
Yep.
All right, we'll go over to John Ledyard.
Antoine, I know that you kind of have your rules when you're playing free safety and things like that, but just curious because Washington this season has been so limited in their downfield attack. In other words, they've just not thrown a lot of 20-plus yard passes in the air this season. As a free safety, knowing that going into the game and having seen on tape that they like to get the ball out quick and those kind of things, does it change your process and the way you go about playing that position as kind of the last line of defense?
No, not necessarily. Coach gives us the plays or he calls them, and then we just got to go out and execute them. So if my job is to be in the post, I got to be in the post. If my job is a blitz, I got to blitz. So I still got to, stick to the game plan and do my job.
Gotcha. Now, we didn't get a chance to really ask you about this in depth, but I know you've already kind of moved on from this past game, but you were ruled down on once they reviewed that play. You were ruled down on the fumble recovery. There was returned for a touchdown. Did you feel like you had been touched? Were you kind of surprised because it didn't seem like to us there was a clear camera angle?
Yeah, no, I thought I was good. I didn't think the running back touched me, but then after looking at it and reviewing it, he touched me. But I thought I was clean during the moment.
Gotcha. Thanks, Antoine.
Yep.
All right, we're going to go over to Hobie Artigue.
Hey, Antoine, good to talk to you again. It's Hobie in Minneapolis. Just wanted to ask you, I was watching some of your plays, and watching you in the NFL, I got flashbacks to you at Fresno State and some of the plays that you made in some of those games. What's allowed you to translate what you were able to do in college just so well to the professional level? And to some extent, have you almost surprised yourself?
No, I don't think I surprised myself. I always knew it was going to happen, and I figured that from practice. The things you do in practice, you do in games. It's nothing that stands out or that's outstanding. It's just if you consistently do it in practice, it translates to the game. So the plays that I make them in practice first, and then it goes to the game. So I don't think I was surprised by any of the games. It's just working hard and practicing good habits.
So you're about to make your first playoff appearance, but now have a guy on a team that's been to the playoffs 40 or played in 41 playoff games with Tom Brady. What's the biggest takeaway that you've gotten from Tom throughout your first year in the NFL that you've been able to put into practice?
I would just say just how he works, just watching him work, watching him lead, I feel like was a big thing. And we have like great vets on our team. And so being able just to watch all of them and how they work, how they interact when things are going bad or good and things like that. So I feel like that was good to see early on in my career.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Antoine.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.